Okay. Whew. I don't want to touch it because I know it's probably hot. It is. And I had to touch it because that's just the stupid stuff that I do. Don't be me. Now there is, I'm still touching it. I have no self-control, I swear. Welcome back to the community, everybody, and thank you all for being part of it. Today, we're going on I can't remember what part we're on. I think it's part 4. Yeah, doesn't matter. Of Bodywork. I'm going to show you something in a second here. I'm going to go ahead and do the passenger side quarter panel because somebody welded a new piece at the bottom, and I'll show you in about 15 seconds. I'm going to take the door off, so we'll do that real quick, and I'll show you I might hit the pause button on the door because I'm going to a swap meet Saturday. I should film it, but I don't know. We'll see. But there's going to be a lot of Volkswagen parts there, so I might be able to find a rust-free door. But let's go ahead and show you what we're doing today. We did the other quarter panel on the other side. We'll take a peek real quick here. I got a seat sitting there. That is all done. And even though that door had some rust on it, I did go ahead and finish it. So that door's all finished. Now, I was going to do this door. It works. It lines up well, which is really nice. The hinges are good. When I open it up, no problem. Shuts very nice. It doesn't sag on the hinges, but we have rust along the bottom of it. And I know it's underneath. Whoops, I can feel it. It really isn't a lot of rust to fix. So once we take the door off, we'll take a look at it and we'll see what we want to do. I will do a little filming at the swap meet, I guess, depending on what they have available. But I got to get some lighting over here, and we're going to go ahead and do this quarter section today. Somebody welded in a piece before me. So, of course, I got to do some grinding because they weren't real good at grinding it. But that's okay. At least that part's done. We're going to go ahead and start out by removing the door first. And we'll go ahead and take a look at it on a little table and see what we're dealing with, basically. And then we're going to start stripping that quarter panel down. So let's do it. Now, most of you have probably already removed doors. If you didn't, go up in the corner and there's a link on how to remove the door, especially if you have screws that are stuck. I have a way around that that's easy. So what we got to do first is remove these 6 screws. Now, some of you may have a plastic cap over top. So just pop the cap off. I believe this is a number 4 Phillips. It's actually pretty big. It's a very large end. You can see by the size of my finger. So let's go ahead and get them screws out. I'm trying to keep out of the way. Now, I already previously had mine loosened up. Like I said, if you need that video, just go watch it. I show you how to lubricate the screws from behind and everything. And a cheap tool to use, and you will get them out. You won't be fighting. So, I'm going to spin this side here. Wish this was magnetic, but it's not. This screwdriver's been around for about, I don't even know, 50 years. It was my dad's, so. Come on, get out of there. Really? Ah. This little pair of needle nose. Drop it on the floor first. There you go. I'm going to leave one in until I get the top ones loosened up. Loosen the top first, bottom first, whatever you choose. You can see the door moving slightly. Now don't lose your screws. You can buy them, but you don't want to have to keep buying stuff. Okay, I'm going to loosen. There's my handle. There it is. The bottom one first. the top one. And we'll slide her out. And we'll look it over, see how bad it is. There we go. Okay, we are all solid here. This just needs, I'll wire wheel it first and then give it a sanding. Oh, there's old carpet that was in there. Because in the 68, the carpet comes in and tucks under here. So, well, it seems all solid. The pillar is solid. I'm going to have to wire wheel and clean this all up too, which I'm sure you knew. And then I'll hit it with some phospho acid to seal it. So don't have problems down the road. I can see a weld here where he brought some metal around the guy before me, which he did a pretty nice job. He should just grind it a little more. But we'll get this all cleaned up. All right, let's take a look at this door and see what we're working with. All right, let me see what we're working with here. Got a little rust here. Trying to decide whether to grab a rust-free door at the meet. Wonder how the hinges are. The hinge is nice. See, that's what I gotta debate on too. These hinges are nice and tight. That's a big deal, because I don't want to have to cut out and weld new hinges in another one. All right, let me look at the bottom. All right, I popped it up on a table. I don't know. I mean, I've seen worse. The other door, I think the other door was worse that I fixed. The bottom don't bother me as much. I grind that smooth. Yeah, I think I'll go ahead and take it apart. Yep. All right, let's fix up this door. This is a budget build, the best that we can make it a budget. So we're going to go ahead and fix that door. To tell you the truth, the other one was a little worse. This one's not as bad. So we're going to go ahead and save this door. It'll save us 100 or 200. I don't know what rust-free doors go for us, but we're going to start on the quarter panel first. And then in the background, when I'm waiting on stuff to dry on the quarter panel to progress along, I'll go ahead and start taking that door apart and get everything down and strip it down completely. So, all right, let's start the fun game of bodywork. All right, what I'm going to do first is pull the trim off of here. I don't want to ruin this. This stuff's in really good condition. And we'll go ahead, start sanding, pull the chrome strip off. I got to grind that with a grinder to get the weld done, and then we'll go ahead and start putting our filler in there. All right, I'll set up the camcorder, and I'll tell you all kind of cool stuff while I'm doing it. So I'm going to pull this off. I'll show you it once I get it off. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this off. I have pop-out windows for this. Well, they were original to the car, thankfully. They're good German ones. But I don't want to ruin this stuff. I'll show you what I have here. It's a channel trim. But this stuff is quality. This is good German stuff. So I don't want to ruin it. I'm going to go ahead and have Heather clean it up really nice for me. She'll get it back to white. And if I have to, I'll even spray it with some dye. But the good quality German stuff, I love it. I save it when possible, and there's nothing wrong with it. So what I am going to do, I'm going to, headliner comes over here, so I'm going to just mask it off. I mean, if some type of dust or spray gets on it, it isn't the end of the world because the trim gets over it. But I want to tape it off anyhow because I'm going to be papering this shut. Just want to take as much precaution as possible. Heather gets, and when she's done with it, I bring it up the garage. I try to budget as much as I can. There's no point in buying plastic and all kind of stuff. if I really don't have to. Get it around the bend here. As soon as I get the car in primer, I'm going to go ahead and get to the interior. And I am definitely going to repair a few tiny spots on the headliner, which isn't that difficult to do. So maybe I'll do a video on how to repair a headliner instead of replacing it. And then I'm going to dye it. Not dye it. I wished I could, but I don't. I have no willpower with that stuff. Okay. Let me finish taping this trim. I'll be right back. Alrighty. Just want to make it so I don't get a bunch of crap going through the opening in the window. Professionally done. All right, so this one's sealed off, the other one's sealed off. I'll do this off camera. I'm going to go ahead and mask this opening off because when I'm done with this side here, I got to start running up the roof. So I'll do that off camera. There's no point in you watching me. Okay, this is done. Let me pop the chrome. And I think you remember on part 1 or 2, can't remember, I'm keeping the original German trim. I love the German stuff. It's heavier, it's nicer, and what I do is I take polishing compound, not rubbing compound, and I use quad O steel wool with the 4 zeros, blink, poop, beep, beep, and I polish it up. Even if it's a little pitted, it comes clean, and then we have nice quality chrome trim. Now, if my paint was already done and pretty and the whole thing, I would not be using a screwdriver. I would use a plastic trim removal tool. They're very cheap. I got mine off Amazon. I've used them for quite a few things. So there we go. This will clean up nicely. I got some pliers. These little plastic pieces that hold the trim on, you can buy a big bag of them new. I think I have them somewhere, but they're not that expensive, and the new ones obviously versus the old ones that are wore out will hold it nice and tight. So they just pop off. Now save them if you must. I mean, I ain't gonna make fun of you for it. I don't think they're very expensive, but I broke a few on the other side. Here's a broken one here, I can tell. There's a broken one here. Okay. I got my little happy chair from Vever. I like this thing. I hope it holds together. Somebody gave me a couple tips to go over it. I'm going to make sure I check if things are tight. I'm going to bring you up really close here while I'm grinding. I got a 36 grit flap disc. I got to grind this rust out here and then grind this weld. I want to get it as smooth as possible. This part here seems recessed in compared to here, which I'm not happy about, but I don't really want to weld another piece of metal in here. Here seems okay. Oh well, we'll work with it. All right, I am putting the dust mask on. I urge you to do the same when you're dusting or sanding. So if my voice gets a little muffled, you know the deal. So let's try this, and I'll speed it up and put some music on. Sit back. Okay. Whew. I don't want to touch it because I know it's probably hot. It is. And I had to touch it because that's just the stupid stuff that I do. Don't be me. Now there is, I'm still touching it. I have no self-control, I swear. Yeah, that's hot. I feel a little gully in here. It's like somebody dug out a little stream. I don't think he used a factory panel, but that's okay. I'm going to see how much metal Bondo I got because I'll fill in, that's really hot, the valley first. Let me see what I have on hand. There we go. Ugh, feels almost empty. I just needed to fill that channel in. I hope there's enough just to do that and I'll be thrilled. Because I don't believe I need any more metal filler. It has an aluminum substance in it. That's why they call it metal. And why did I save this? That's what's in it. I don't know why I would have done this. Saved this. I mean, I have lightweight body filler. I guess I could use it. It's just when I'm doing a deep recess like that, I like to use the metal Bondo inside of the recess. Half of mine to use JB Weld. I'm so mad. I'm standing here like an idiot. So I don't think that my local store has it. I have to order it online. Let me think of what to do. All right, well, I'm trying to figure out what to do. I'm using 60 grit disc, a new one. This one was smoked. I wanted metal filler, and I know my local store don't have it, so I'd have to order it, and that would be 2 days from now, and I don't want to wait. I could use some Bondo in there that I really hate using. The fiberglass filler seems to hold moisture. I don't mind using my lightweight filler, but not for deep crevices. Okay, I need to smooth this just a little bit more. I feel an edge here, so I want to try to round it down a little wee bit. Mask on. All right, gotta let it cool for a second before I touch it. I'm trying to look inside at something. Wow, he laid some heavy weld in there. Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to use Bondo in that. Oh well, I don't feel like running out. This is gonna need wire wheel to get down inside of here, so let me do that real quick. This will get down in the little crevices. Just real quick, this area with 60 grit on the orbital. I wish people would use factory panels because it would have went nice across there, but it's okay. We'll get it right. Okay. All right, to save you the pain and agony, I killed the camera off while I was sanding this some more. I went down to a 40 grit paper I have. So what I'm going to do now is fill this here and then some here, and I'll let that dry. Then I'll come back and sand it. It's going to take a couple coats to get it even, but that's okay. That's what this is about, is saving money and doing it myself the best that I can. All right. Well, I didn't feel like waiting 2 days to order metal Bondo, so I'm using the regular Bondo as an underlayment. Figured that's a professional word to use. Just not happy, that's all. I like my metal Bondo. Now, after I sand this and see if it needs another coat or what have you, then I'll go ahead and use the lightweight Evercoat filler that I had bought. It sands easier. I still think Rage is a little bit better, but I got kind of screwed out of it. I couldn't get it. So it's okay. We will go ahead and and should have left it alone. I never can I? Okay, now I'm going to leave it alone. Let me hit this here. You can't see me probably off camera. There we go. Now there's a little divot in there. They use the word divot a lot, and I never looked in a dictionary to see if it's a word. So I could be giving you false information. Yeah. Okay, I'll round that out. Okay. If I sound a little bummed, they really like my metal Bondo. Can't help it. Gotta leave that alone. I keep wanting to mess with it. Okay. I'll let that dry. All right, give me a second. I could probably sand this, but it's just, I can't tell. I think it's lightly tacky, not much. Okay, what I am going to do while I'm waiting, I should be able to do this in about 15 minutes. We're going to take our striker plate off because when I was looking at something. When I do this, we're going to do like we did for the other side. We're going to go ahead and sand all this down, fill the voids, chalk it down, and prime it, and that way it's done. So let's take our striker plate off. So I didn't have, oh, one came loose. I didn't have these loose yet. No big deal. And if you do have problems with these, you just go behind her and the threads come through here. So you'd have to remove the rear door card is what I call it. And you can hit them with PB Blast or a little wire brush and it'll come right out. Some folks will, and I'm not making fun of anybody, but some people will go to the point of rounding them out and beating on them when you can go behind and clean the threads and PB blast them. It's really not a big deal. And while we're waiting for that to dry, 2 things. And remember, you need a number 4. I believe it's a number 4 Phillips. A big one. 2 things. 2 little tips. Always tips and tricks, huh? Always. That's how life is, full of tips and tricks. This here is going to control the door's up and down motion, okay? Just slightly, but all it takes is slightly when you're trying to line up the chrome trim or the line in your door. So this will move up and down. If your door is out a little bit, then you simply adjust this in a little bit. Now don't go crazy to the point where you can't get your door back open, but these are adjustable in and out and up and down. So hope that helps. While we're waiting, it should be dry shortly. With your doors, okay, if you're too lazy or don't feel like going to watch my door removal video, the screws that I took out must have been in there for 382 years. That's a weird number, huh? You can go behind these, okay, with some PB Blast or Croil, whatever you choose, okay? When you open your bonnet in the front, you will see the backs of the screw heads. They're not easy to see, but spray the back of them with PB Blast. Now, the ones down the bottom, they're a little tougher to get to, but put your spray nozzle on and look down in there with an LED light and spray down in there to the back of the threads. Soak them. You're not going to hurt anything. All right. Once you do that, then you take the impact that you see in my door video, smack it, and they will come loose. You should never really have to drill these out. I know some people have run into some where they had to drill out the head of them, and that's a nightmare, and it's sad to see that. But I don't see anybody shooting PB Blast or anything behind them at the threads down inside the channel. And you can do that, and it will make a huge difference. Soak them, wait maybe 10-15 minutes, soak them again. When you do that, and then soak the heads also, they'll come out. You just need the little impact that I use. You can see one right here. And that's what I did. So it does help. All right, let's try to sand that and see what it does. It feels tacky to me, but maybe it's not. I don't like regular Bondo. I'm going to keep complaining. Oh, okay. I had 60 on there earlier. I'm going to run 80 on it at first and see what it does. Start something ring. Must be the marbles in my head coming loose. Okay. Hold on to your butt. Yeah, might as well plug it in. Just trying to save on electric, but you know how that goes. Well, it's coming out better than I thought it was. Huh. All right, well, this is perfect. Well, perfect is a bit much. A little bit right here, and right here definitely. This is where it looked like he pushed it in before he welded, so I'm going to switch to the lightweight filler now and bring it across there. I'll sand this first, but I just wanted to check this. I'm not a fan of the regular Bondo, but I must say it did work pretty well. Yep, I got to sand here too. But, okay. Let me finish sanding this right here. Then we're going to come back and we're going to run a stream across there. Okay. I'm going to use these couple up that were too big. I only have so many left. Ain't going to hurt anything. Okay. Put your mask on. Let's roll. Alrighty. Alright, I'm gonna have to mix. I'm gonna put the lightweight Evercoat body filler on now. Sounded professional. Yeah. Run it across, tear and down. A lot better though. Much, much better. Let me go mix a batch up. Give me 1 second. Alrighty. This is, I think I put too much hardener in. This is the Evercoat lightweight. That's weird. Usually goes on with no air pockets. I not know why it's doing that. Trying to do it like I would do drywall. Spread it out a little far. Ugh. No, I'm not a body man. But I guess you can tell. I did okay on my house with the drywall, though. Maybe it's a little more forgiving, so to speak. I'm trying to get this to where it tapers down. I should have used a wider spatula. That's what I should have did, but I don't feel like getting up to get it now, because this will dry pretty quick now. I think it's at its end of curing. Really? I know. I need the Duke here. He's a body man. But he probably smacked me for what I'm doing. Okay. I think I'm gonna leave that alone. Yeah, I just said that and I'm messing with it still. That's lightweight, so I can sand it fairly easy. There we go. I don't want to touch that or that. Okay. I gotta let it alone now. Let me go clean up my stuff here. Probably gonna need one more coat right in that area, but I could be wrong. All right, so I have to wait for that to dry. So I'm gonna wipe this around here and mask off the back window. I'll just talk for a minute, and then when I start masking, I'll go ahead and speed up the film. I just don't feel like sitting here staring at the wall while it's drying. So this is going to need masked off anyhow. I might as well do it now. This is simple green. I'm just cleaning this up so the tape sticks better. I wonder what this would... I was just curious. That stuff that I'm going to do the headliner with used to be made by Wesley's. Wesley's Bleach White. Black Magic bought it, and I'll show you it in a second. and it works good. It's the same stuff. It never changed, but I guess the original company, Wesley's, from when I was young, which was a while back, I guess they got bought out or something. So it works quite well, though. I'm going to hope for the best. And because I don't feel like doing a headliner. I'll do it if I have to. I'm just messing around here. I don't want to see what this does. Wow. Pretty good. But headliner repair is on the agenda. All right, I'm putting this on first because this is more of a light tack painter's tape. So when I go to peel it, it won't pull the ends of the headliner off. So I know you can buy the paper that has the tape on the edge of it, like the body shops do, or the plastic. But for as long as I was getting the Sunday paper, I just kept stockpiling them because it was free. A roll of tape, it may look a little sloppy, but we're not taking it to the car show with paper on the window. All right, let's see. Yep, that's ready to sand. All right, I'm going to have to change. I have 80 grit on here. I'm going to see what else I have because this is the lightweight filler, so it's going to sand down a little quicker. Hopefully. I have 120. I can switch it out. If not, I'm curious to see what the 120 does. I can go a little heavier if needed. But I'm curious. Let's rock and roll. All right, I always wait a second with the mask while the stuff calms down. I got a fan blowing on me too, though. All right, this feels somewhat okay here, but right here, right there, and that's where the deep part was. Oh. Yep, right in here. I know everybody says to use this is budgeting, so I'm not buying black and spraying it on to see the high and lows, but this came out good here. That feels good there. Right here. This actually feels good here. It really does. Right there. I only need a tiny drop. All right, I didn't mix up as much. This feels all good in here. Right there. And I'll leave it alone, Slade. Don't keep messing with it. Oh, why don't I just leave it alone? All right. Let that dry, and hopefully that did it. All right, that's got to dry. You know, and this Evercoat lightweight body filler, you know, I showed you the can before in a prior video. I'm not saying it's horrible. It does sand very nice. I'm going to eat dinner. If it ain't dry by the time I get back, which it should be, then you won't know the difference if it's today or tomorrow because I've been up here all day. So I'll be back in 60 seconds or less, and you won't know if it's today or tomorrow. All right, so we're back. It's the next day. I got hungry, and you know how after you eat, it's over, you know. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and sand this down. We'll see if we can. This here come out really smooth, but we'll sand this down. Try to get this smoothed out, hit the rest of it, and get it in primer. We'll see how the, oh crap, I forgot to bring more water up for the primer can. Okay, let's get on it. All right, I got some 120 because this is lightweight filler, so I'm not going to have to hit it with 60 or 80. At least, I wonder what that noise was. I don't think so, so we'll find out in a second. I'll bring you up close while I'm sanding with some music. Okay, always leave your mask on just for a few seconds until all the dust particles get out. Feels nice. It feels nice. I'm going to sand the rest of this down. I'll speed up the camera. We're going to mask this off the entrance to the car, and we're going to shoot a nice couple coats of primer on it so it's done and out of the way. So give me 1 second. I got 80 on here. I'm going to start running it all around here. Let's listen to some cool music.
I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I've changed for the better this time. I thought I would never be fine. I strive just to say I'm alright, and for the first time in a long time I'm alright. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I'm not falling. I'll push all my chips and call all in. I'll bet on myself, you keep stalling. I hear destiny and it's calling. I'll keep my head up high through the downs and lows, and we're all going life. Still nobody knows, but I'ma choose what's right and take what comes and goes. And ain't no one in life holding me back no more. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago. All right, so now I have to do around this window frame. I'll do that by hand. I won't film this part because it'll take a little while because I gotta sit here and go by hand. I'll go down the crease by hand to get in there, and I'm gonna get up inside of this lip. Now remember, I'm doing this in sections, so I'm going to mask this off, and then we'll be taking the tip of this up with primer, because then I'm going to do this probably next around here after the door's done. Doing it in sections, which may help some of you that's working out of a little garage or working outside.
I'm not telling you to do it my way. It's just the way I'm doing it. All right, be back in a minute. So I went ahead and did this all by hand, all around here, down the door pillar. Everything is ready. The only thing I want to do, and it's bothered me, I feel a slight imperfection right here and just right here. So I'm going to put a little bit of lightweight filler there, and then I'll go ahead and start masking while that's curing, and then we'll sand that smooth, and that should be it. Okay, I got the compound mixed up. I should say the Evercoat, what the hell is that called? Lightweight filler. Age is fun. Alrighty. This should be the last that I have to do with this section. Let me get it in here. I just noticed when I started sanding by hand that I could feel a few things that I didn't like. So, not a bad thing though. I figure I'll mask off while this is drying. And that way I'll kill two birds with one stone. Not that I don't like birds. Trying to make sure I just light hand it. Trying to make sure it blends with the rest. There, leave it alone, leave it alone, leave it alone. I can't quit messing with filler when I'm doing it. There we go. All right, that should be it there. We'll go ahead and start masking the headliner section off here, the back, the wheel well, while this is drying. Okay, I saved you the agony of watching. I masked off part of the roof here. The window was already done. I masked off the inner well, and I just got to hang my towel here for blocking the insides. This is a little rough here, which I don't care because the fender goes over this and covers it. So if somebody wants to pull the fender at a car show and go, wow, I don't care. So this is all smooth, smoother than it actually looks. That's the funny part. But I'm going to sand this and this to smooth it out. And if that's okay, we're going to go ahead and warm up the primer and start spraying. I'm going to run some 120 over it. And hopefully that's not overkill. Should be okay. And then after that, I may run like probably 220 over this real quick just to give it a light smoothing. Then we're going to warm the primer and we're going to hit it with 3 coats. Okay. Mask, mask, mask. Even if you're outside, don't matter. I am very happy with the way this come out. Because it was a heck of a, this was recessed in at the bottom. So he must have used just a hunk of metal he had, which is fine. I get that. I'm not picking on nobody. I am far from a body man, but that come out good now. Now it's smooth. I'm going to, and I won't put it on video. I know you guys are probably getting bored, you ladies. I'll hit it with 220 real quick with the orbital just to smooth it. And I'll be right back with a warmed up primer. You know the deal. All right, I'm gonna I gotta tap that. When he put the new quarter section on, he didn't have an actual quarter section where it had the threaded hole for the fender. So I'm gonna have to work with this and thread it and etc. etc. So it's okay. He used what he had. I can't put a guy down for that, or a lady, whoever did it. What I'm doing here is I took the bolts from the other side, and Jorg made a good point. One of our members said, why don't you just go buy bolts, and use those instead of the fender bolts, because I got to wire wheel and clean these up after I'm done. And he's right. I just never made it out to the store to grab bolts, but no big deal. I'll wire wheel these up when I'm done, but he was right. It was a good idea to grab them and have them on hand to do this. Now you got to make sure of something else, and I'll show you in a second here, because we're going to be primering in a minute. I have the primer soaking in warm water in Heather's plant pot. She's funny. Okay, they're in here. It makes me mad. I'm gonna have to mess with that. I'm gonna see if I can drill and tap it, but I don't know how much metal's behind that. I'll find out. Now, as you can see, I used a towel instead of a bunch of paper, clamped at the top, and I taped it to the inside of the pillar, so that way, the primer don't shoot right through there. Make sure also you put your screws in where your striker plate goes, because you don't want the paint going in them threads. So let's get ready for the primer, and hopefully it goes smooth. It doesn't have the fan spray, so I'm not real happy about that. I think I'm going to get a fender up here, and I'm going to go ahead and sand one down. I got 2 NOS fenders. I'm going to sand one, prime it, sand, paint, and clear, and buff, and see how it comes out. And the reason I said that, and I'm going to do that maybe the following week as one of the videos, is because I want to see how much I like this fan spray on the Rustoleum 5-in-1 spray. I should, because we're doing small areas at a time. So enough about me. I'm going to blow this off. I'm going to wipe it down with a tack rag, and we're going to start priming. Kick your feet up. Okay, so I have the primer soaking in warm water. I do a little warmer than warm. I don't know what that means, but it works. Just don't do it in scalding hot water. You don't want something to build up pressure and blow a can up. So use at your own discretion. I'm not responsible for you being an idiot. I put a can on here to push it down in. Please, I can't stress this enough, okay? I know what my father died from, and it bothers me, from spraying paints on the railroad, epoxy paints, killed his lungs. So make sure you buy yourself a good quality respirator, okay? And you're going to see me using that a lot when I start spraying primer, paint, the 2K clear with the catalyst, with long sleeves down to here and gloves on with the 2K. But for right now with the primer, I'm just going to wear this. They're not that expensive compared to what your life is worth. Think about that. I know you're tired of my mouth, but I'm not going to let up. I just had to say that. You guys can get upset with me if you want, but it's okay. I had to tell you. Okay, also, these are nice. It gives you that gun effect. So let me snap my mask on. I do have a fan pulling out. I left my other one down the house, or I would have one pushing this way and pulling that way out the window. But have proper ventilation, and this is your lifesaver. All right, let me shake the other can up. I'm going to give us 10 minutes. I'll be back in 2 seconds, though. Whatever you do, make sure you shake this up really, really well. And I'm using a filler primer, which does fill in little tiny voids. Is that cheating? Probably, but why do they sell it? Shake her up good. I had it in the warm water while I was spraying this quarter panel. So it definitely atomized the primer / paint because I was shaking it up and then putting it in 10 minutes of warm water. Also, wasn't thinking I'm doing this near the microphone. Oh well. Yeah, it's okay. I'm sure you heard me, big mouth. Also, after shaking it up and doing the water thing, take a rag and dry this off or blow it off so you don't shake up and put water on the vehicle. All right, let's roll. Okay, it did spit here and here, which is fine. Whenever it dries completely, when I'm ready, I can just scuff it lightly and it'll take that right off. Actually, I think it come out really good. I got a spling there and a spling. You know what a spling is? It's a splash. Ing. I made that up. Wow, that come out nicer than I thought. And I know some of you'll go, well, in primer it'll look good. It's fine. As I said, this isn't a show car, but it's going to be a nice driver. I'm really happy with this, because this section was really bad here, but let me move away from the car because I'll bump it. And something I did say, and it'll make sense now, on one of my videos recently, I said I'd like to mount the transaxle to put the wheels on and mount the disc brake setup with wheels on. Put the car on dollies, because I do have them. My daughter bought me a nice set. To slide the car clear over, I'd have had another yard, and then the camera would have been right here. I mean, it would have been great. The car's positioned in the garage where it's kind of over this way too far, but I may do that soon so that I can start rotating the car around and push it clear against the wall over there. And I've got 8 feet to work with here, so I know. There's what it looks like. And I think it looks nice. It's still drying, so you're going to see a little bit of streaking until it all dries. But I think it actually come out pretty good. Come on, we're doing it with cans. My buddy Garrison did 2 cars now with cans, and he did use the 2K with the catalyst hardener, whatever you want to call it, and the clear. So it'll be durable, and his come out beautiful. And I'm doing the same thing. Many people have done this. So that's got to dry. Let's close out, and I'll tell you what's coming up. So what is coming up? We are going to do, Heather and I are going to do a video together on winterizing. We're also going to do a video together. This is while I'm doing bodywork videos. There will be 2-3 videos a week. We're going to also do a video on preparing and tearing down for her restoration. So I'm going to show the process that I'm going to do, and Heather's going to help out explain this. I think it might help some newcomers that are starting into this. Jason Zimmerman had given me the idea, and I think it was awesome of him to do. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. It turned into a 2-day video for me. That's how it happens sometimes with Bodywork. But we're going to continue on. I'll see you Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. Heather and I will be in live chat, and I hope to see you all there. I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. Smile and say some extra prayers for the people down south on the East Coast that had dealt with this hurricane. A lot of personal friends had got pretty demolished by it. So keep them in your thoughts. I really appreciate it. All right. We'll see you soon.